Alright, hey everybody. A couple people requested I make a video, basic how-tos on Polearm. Got my wife out here helping me today. Son running the camera, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so basic stance is pretty straightforward for you right-handed people. It's going to be right foot forward, right hand forward. Not vertical, not 45, not lazy on the ground. You want it about right here, 10 to 20 degrees off of vertical. This gives you the opportunity to rest the weapon on yourself. If you need to take a breath, back off for a second. You can have your gauntlet caught up on your belt or on your shoulder, or just hold the thing backwards over here and you can immediately transition back into ready position. Strong foot forward, strong hand forward, moving back around. You want to stay in that configuration as much as possible when you're moving around and being ready for things. This does two things for you. It keeps the weapon out in front of you so that your blocks are quick turns into a basic A-frame. This is 90% of the shots you're going to take in Polearm are these downward shots. I'm going to show you those here in just a minute and how to block them. Alright, so the basic shots with one of these are pretty straightforward. Your strong side, high line shot, real simple. Turn your hips, turn your shoulders, turn your hands. This comes in anywhere from about 20 to 45 off. This is your high side shot on the strong side. There's an offside shot, and all you do is rotate your hands around and spin the other direction. Hips, hands, all of it. Take a look, dissect the technique, write at me in the comments, I don't care. The third shot you can do from here is an upward scoop. Takes a little bit more time, and it's almost invariably something you'll do as part of a sequence, not just something straight off. I've seen a bunch of people get real lazy with guards. They'll just leave the polearm, especially later in the rounds. They're dragging it around. You'll even see me doing it from time to time. I like to fake being tired, and I'll leave this out behind me, and that sets me up for that slow shot. Just a strategy, use it or don't. I don't necessarily recommend it if you can't actually pull that shot off. Okay, one other thing you're going to see a lot of in this is you'll see people go mid-stick and they'll start kayaking, swinging with both ends of the weapon. You can do that. You can. It totally works, especially if anybody gets in real close on you. I like the longer grip because it lets me work range shots to start with, and then when they get too close, you just force feed them the fat end real hard. Some leagues allow this end-on shot, some don't. Even if they don't, you can always strike with the ass end in a punch. Alright, so the basic blocks are pretty straightforward. When my lovely assistant throws that highline shot we talked about, all I have to do is turn. You want to try and catch it on the stick, not the blade, as much as possible to save the wear and tear in your weapon, but all you really have to do is turn and keep this weapon between their weapon and yours. That's it. Alright, so once you've blocked the shot, you need to do something else. So go ahead, block, and you can immediately return into that offside we talked about. You don't even have to move your feet at this distance, just rotate and immediately back into it. The other thing that these double-sided heads allow you to do that these single head won't is after they come in, this way, after they come in, you bat it down and immediately transition back into an offside shot. From there, you can hit on the other side, or, do it again.
No.
Do it again. You can come down, and if you don't have that back edge, step in and force feed them the ass. All right?
Maybe I should have worn the helmet.
Maybe. So the second basic shot we're looking at is the offside. It's that simple. You can attack this line, you can attack this line. You want to be careful though, because anytime you extend this direction, if you go too far, you're going to wind up twisted. And if you don't drop your weapon at that point, you're going to be very, very lucky. Alright, so to counter that shot is really easy.
Ow.
See what I mean about crossing your arms? This is a terrible idea. You want to throw that as a secondary shot, part of a combo. Don't ever lead with the crossover, offside. Married a smart ass over here. Okay, now we're going to add the counters. From here, once it's down, you literally have access to every line of shot you want to take, including my personal favorite, that sweet, sweet chin music. All right, now we're going to talk about low-level shots. If you're not confident hitting at somebody's head and you're feeling like you're taking an especially big risk, you can always swing for the legs. The trouble with this is when you do it, you tend to bend over and expose this entire upper line. But if you can pull it off, it's a nice, good point, and if their armor sucks, they might walk a little slower for the rest of the fight. Who knows? All right. Counter one is real easy. You just step back. Do it again. And after you step back, you just follow it right in. Opens up all of the counter shots we talked about. Obviously, you're not going to go from 3 steps away and try and punch them. But from here, immediately back into that 1 step, you're right back into your range to attack the upper line. Upper line shots, always preferable to lower line shots. They're visible, they're loud, you hit helmets, you hit shoulders. The refs can see them, the audience can see them, and if you get somebody to stagger a little bit, they make that fun ooh noise. All right, so one of the squirrely little things you can do with any given two-handed weapon is switch grips. Now, I've had a lot of fights go on for 2-3 rounds, and then afterwards somebody comes up to me and is like, you know, I couldn't figure out what felt so wrong about fighting you until I realized you're left-handed. Well, that is the upside to two-handed weapons, because I don't have a shield and I've got it in both hands and I have the flexibility to switch between hands whenever I want. And we're going to demonstrate how that's useful. You remember when I said that swinging offside is terrible because you're extended and you're crossed over and you're messed up? Well, now I've got that left line. Right line with my right hand up, legs, head, waist, all of it. And instead of trying to become a contortionist on the fly, switch hands, left, head, legs, all of it. Opens up, and all you have to do is let the thing slide through your top hand and change your foot. A little bit of an angle switch. Take some practice to get good at it. Same blocks, same lines, same all of that. Just a different hand up and a different foot forward. If you want to fight goofy foot, that's on you, but we're back into contortionism. Alright, so if you're fighting one of these sneaky rat bastard left-handers you didn't realize, and they start doing things like throwing at your wrong line, like, oh my god, how do I block this? Because this is an awkward block. This is real strong. Offside line, a little weak, especially if you have to block a leg shot. You dip into your longsword a little bit, and you drop the hanging block, or hanging guard, sorry. And then come right back into a counter. So, I'm going to show you what that looks like in nice slow motion. I promise I won't hit you. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, so at this point, the opponent has switched hands. I have noticed this because I am paying attention. And now she's going to try to attack my leg on my offside. Now that the sticks are parallel, I can't just turn as easily, and especially not if I have to bend way over. So I'm going to use the hanging guard to block my leg on the offside. Ready? Right there. Super simple. All I had to do was beat her down, just let the stick drop until its point is down. And if I can do that before she even starts, if I see that, she telegraphs, now I've got time to apply the counter. It's real simple. You go from here to the hanging guard, just dip the tip straight down, and as you're coming back out, to execute. Real simple. From the guard, tip down, boom. Don't stay here. You see this from time to time when people get tired. Oh God, I don't know what's going on. Especially if something comes in on the strong side, never use hanging guard on the strong side. It's as weak as trying to bend this way. Come down into the counter. If they're advancing, add the step back. You want to keep them out at range. The absolute last thing you want to do in a singles match is wind up wrestling. It's tiring, it's visually boring, and it's just not fun. So keep them at range, block, 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 however you need to block. Counters, blocks, counters, blocks, counters, and keep them out there. If they get close, boot them, punch them, do whatever you got. Put a stick in their face and shove them. Good social distancing.